1 second. Oh, I don't know. Where's my chat? I don't think my chat's showing. Oh well. Give me 1 second. VTube Studio is still giving me issues, so I'm gonna try to troubleshoot it this weekend. Okay, where's my PNG? Okay. Hold up. Where'd you go? Where's my PNG? Why aren't you loading? I'm in voice chat. Where'd you go? Now that my Fugi's not working either. Okay. Well. Okay, let's see. Looks like it's still connecting. Okay, let me try again. Oh, it's still connecting. That's so weird. It hasn't fully connected yet. Well, if it doesn't fully I don't... Has anyone ever done this when they're trying to connect to Discord? And it's saying that it's just yellow connecting and Discord's attempting to connect to it. Has anyone ever gotten that? Because usually it just does it automatically. Why are you being weird? Okay, let me reopen my Discord and we'll try this again. Otherwise, it's just gonna be a picture of a PNG. VTube Studio. That's okay. I don't know why, but like my tracking just keeps dropping, and I just don't know why. And I'm not really in the mood to deal with it today, so I'm just gonna roll out the avatar. Well, but now my Discord doesn't want to connect either. And so I don't know what to do. See, it keeps disconnected. Connecting. Is my stream okay? Can you guys hear me? Is it buffering at all? Because I don't think it's my internet. Because all my pages are loading fine. So I don't think it's my... Oh, I forgot my background music. Wait, where's my background music? You can hear, but like it's not buffering or anything, right? Okay, so you know what? It's not my internet. Discord just isn't letting me... Okay. Well, we're just... Okay, when in doubt, we're just gonna put a picture, I guess. Shoot. I guess we gotta do what we gotta do. We gotta do what we gotta do, so let me get out a picture. Let's see, I have so much different art that I could use. A lot of technical issues. Well, I guess so. It's just my luck that it's happening like this, though. Discord isn't working. My Discord isn't working for some reason. My VTube Studio isn't working now for some reason. Why am I so unlucky? I feel very... excuse me. Unlucky today. I'll just use my PNG. It's fine. Ah, where'd you go? Oh, you're big. I can't even see you. Oh, there you are. But you're very big, so I have to make myself smaller. You know, even though we're just chatting today, we're not doing ASMR. So let me actually switch screens here. Let me actually switch screens here. Sorry if I seem so out of it today, guys. I've been a busy bee this week. So if I seem completely out of it, that is why. I've been a very busy bee this week. Let's have you all disappear now. But how have your guys' week been? Have you guys been having a good week? Anything exciting happen? All right, there we go. But I hope that you guys have been having a good week. We are now, okay, yeah, Discord voice chat is just not working. E-couples everywhere are heartbroken because Discord voice chat is not working. There's my background music. Alright, so let me just change my title. Oh, that sounds fun. Road trip. Road trip sounds nice. I would love to honestly get away. Oh, train trip. Oh, that's even better. I love train trips. Train trips sound even better. Oh gosh, I'm not gonna lie. I am exhausted this week. I am very exhausted. Okay, so now that I've temporarily fixed my issues, is okay. Thank you. A question? Sure. You can go ahead and ask your question. Oh, this week has been tiring though. Started my new job. I saw it lazy. I don't know what to say, honestly. I saw the news when I was getting off of work. Because I got off of work. Because I started my new job. And so my new job, my hours go until about 6:30. So as I was waiting for the bus to go home, I was checking my phone and I saw the news. And my heart just honestly dropped, I think. And then on the bus, I was like just looking at my phone. And then I got home and I was looking more at it. And I was just devastated. I mean, I was tired from work, but that was just my body. But my mood just dropped, you know? Okay, there's like 5 conversations happening. So as for that specific on the first day of coming to Japan, well, I did bring some money from the US. So I had some money that I brought from the US to help me sustain myself until I got paid. That was like 3 years ago. As for the Hollow Stars thing, for Hollow Stars, this is only for the Japanese branch right now. But they announced that they were changing their management structure, and they were moving from doing group activities to more individual based. But what this means is that group events or group led things is ending. Birthday merchandise, which usually happens for everybody, usually stuff like that. Birthday merchandise, anniversary merchandise, regular merchandise, that's released, will end. Company-led group events will end. So there won't be anything like their meet and greets or any other events. They'll no longer be at AGF like they usually were every year. And that also means that they will not have use of the 3D at the studio. Yeah, they pretty much eliminated a lot of things that they could do. And a lot of us fans are devastated. Was it difficult? I mean, a little bit at first, but I got used to Japan very quickly. So I didn't know what to say. I didn't even know. It's not good, right? Yes, it's not good. I'm devastated. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it, guys. I'm devastated as a fan. I wanted to see them in another concert so badly. I really wanted to see them in another concert so badly. Like I was, planning on doing that, I was like, okay, I gotta save a little bit of money each month, because it could happen. And, but that's just it. I don't even know what to say, man. I guess you wonder as a fan, did you do enough? I mean, I tried my best. I watched streams. I was in memberships. I have merchandise sometimes that I shouldn't have because I probably could have saved that money. So it is sad. But it looks like this was an executive level decision. And it honestly came from the top, which makes sense, I mean, I'm not stupid. I'm kind of stupid, but like I'm not like completely ignorant or dumb, I understand that their numbers weren't the highest numbers in the industry. I know that. We know that. We know that as a fan community, we're on the smaller side, and we understand that. But we still love and support our Oshis with a lot of passion. And so, regardless, even if you say, oh, it's just a business decision, it's just like, even though I knew they weren't making as much money as Hololive now, which I get, but I always thought that they were profitable. Does that make sense? I always thought they were at least profitable. That even if they weren't making, tons and tons of money, they were still making, enough money to sustain the branch. So I guess, I'm still just. But I guess it wasn't enough for the top brass. The top brass didn't think it was enough, so. I know, and they're just such an inspiration to me. Even as I'm an indie, you know. But they're such an inspiration to me too. There were many times that I could have also quit. There are many times that. So, yes, they will still be streaming. So, a lot of them have come out and said that they'll still be continuing activities as usual. It's just that a lot of the events that we've gotten used to, we won't have those big group event things by the company anymore, you know? So basically, if they want to do something, it has to be individual. They'll be doing it individually. So it's confusing because it it takes away, I feel like, the appeal of being in a corporation. Because it's like, okay, as a company, you can provide 3D, right, and group songs and stuff like that. But if we're taking all that away, then what am I here for? And then I see some people saying, oh, well, they could be there for management. And I'm like, I am speaking as an indie VTuber. A lot of people seem to think that when you go corporate, that like your manager there takes care of like almost everything and that like you don't have to do things on your own, but there are still things that you do on your own too. And number one, two, as an indie, like I like people say, oh, well, aren't you as like an indie, aren't there things that you struggle with, so like having a manager would help? I'm like, well, having someone post on my social media would help, but guess what? The boys already do that themselves. They're the ones that post on their Twitter account. Hello. They're already the ones posting on their Twitter account themselves, right? So they're already posting on YouTube, I'm pretty sure, themselves. Good evening. So, those things that some people are saying, oh, well, you could still use a manager for. I'm like, they're already doing that themselves. That's not why you join a company. If they just wanted just a manager, then you could be an indie with just a manager. You join a company not just for the management, but for the other things that you can get. Especially for as big of a company as, Hololive Productions is. So that's why I'm just like, now, like if I as a fan, I'm disappointed, right? But as a VTuber, as a content creator myself, I'm like, what kind of deal is this? Like what kind of deal is this? I mean, imagine that you signed a contract to join a VTuber company and you were told you'll get these things, and then you're now getting told, "Oh, sorry, we're taking away all these things now, by the way." But because you're still under the company, they still have a cut of your revenue. So now my question is, right? Because the question always is when you join a company, what can the company give you, right? What are you joining this company for? Oh, I'm joining this company, because they have connections in this industry. I can get 3D perform. I can get a 3D performance or something like that, right? But now, what can you give me that I can't do on my own now? If you're cutting out all this other stuff, if you're cutting me out from regular merchandise, from birthday merchandise, anniversary merchandise, if I can't use the 3D studio anymore, what's the point? Well, see, that's true, right? They're saying, "Oh, well, you still have your model and brand." And sure, I get that. The boys have been here for a long time, so I understand that they're like, completely attached. I can understand being attached to their current name right now. Totally understandable, right? But business wise, right? Business wise, if I'm getting all these opportunities cut, I have to ask myself, what is this doing for my career as a VTuber then? If I'm getting all of these opportunities already cut, right? That could help me grow. That could help me grow, but I'm getting cut off from that. How can I grow if I'm getting all of these important nutrients, or like if you're a plant or whatever, and you have like all these like fertilizers and stuff, and it's like, okay, sorry, we're not going to give you fertilizers, no more plant food. We're just going to give you the bare minimum water, and that's it. Well, then you're not going to bloom as beautifully as the other flowers because you only have water. You're not getting plant food or fertilizer. Like, again, I understand if they're attached and they don't want to leave their fans. And I appreciate them for that. I understand they don't want to leave their fans either. Oh, fuck. Who's dying now? God damn, there's at least always one truck running around here every night. Ambulance running around here every night. I understand if they don't want to leave their brand because, you know, they've been here for such a long time. But if any of them were to graduate, I would still support them. Because I understand, as a VTuber, as a content creator myself, I understand. I understand that they might want to do something different for their career, you know? Especially when it comes to, you know, their performing and stuff like that. Can you bring your audience with you? Well, that's a good question, Kenzie. As someone who's been a VTuber fan for a while, I've seen many people graduate. Some reincarnate to a new life, other people just leave entirely. But when you graduate, right? When you graduate, typically from a company, you can't say that you were that VTuber before. So if let's say I'm a corporate VTuber right now. I'm not, obviously. But let's say that KokoLuna, I was in a corporation, right? I was in a company. And then I decided to graduate and get a new life or a new reincarnation. I decide to stream under a different name. Legally, likely, because of NDAs, I can't say, oh, I was Coco, right? I was KokoLuna. So they can't say that they were so-and-so. They can't do that legally because they sign NDAs. And so they can't say, oh, I used to be this, I used to be her, I used to be him, or whatever. But because fans are, well, smart, and you can figure out by someone's voice, you'll often see someone, you know, people will, you know, kind of tell each other on the down low, oh, she used to be so-and-so, or he was so-and-so, you know? So they can do that, right? But they can't say it outright. They can't say it outright because they signed an NDA. So they can't say it publicly. But other people could say it publicly. Like, we could say it publicly, like a fan could. But in the VTuber community, when you're talking about past lives, roommates, whatever you call it, it's still kind of like a taboo, technically. I mean, these days, I think it's less of a taboo. But, you know, it used to be kind of taboo to do it. But also, they have NDAs that they sign. So they, you know, they can't do it. I mean, I guess, but I could say, you know, freely that I was that person. They gotta keep it hush hush. Exactly. They gotta keep it hush hush. Like, we know who she used to be, but we can't say, you know, but she can't say that she was so and so. I mean, I guess I'll still answer to it sometimes, but really, I'm not sensei anymore. I mean, I'm a teacher in real life, but I'm not Jasmine anymore, really, to be honest. I'd prefer it if you guys called me Coco. Because I'm not... That's an old life that's dead now. I don't plan on bringing back, I'll bring on... There's a Kolu. I guess if you combine Coco and Lulu, you get Kolu. But yeah, Coco or Luna, I think, is better because I'm not that stuff anymore from a dead app or whatever. Well, I mean, Jasmine's dead. The app that I streamed on is dead. The other day, I actually went through and deleted my channels. Well, I mean, it's been months. Actually, it's been more than a year since Annie Live shut down. It's been more than a year since that app shut down anyway. Is Coco Sensei available? Acceptable? I guess so. But I'm not really a sensei. I'm a magical girl. But if you guys really want to call me sensei, that's okay. But I think from now on, I just like to be called Coco or Luna. Really? I I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I would like you not to call me Jazzy Sensei anymore. I understand. I had fun when I was Jasmine, but I've moved on now. I've moved on now, so Coco. Yep, call me Coco or Luna. Um, but I think that's better for now. I'm afraid Jasmine has retired. I was actually cleaning up my social medias the other day, and so I finally deactivated my old accounts under there. But it is pretty sad. But if any of the guys were to ever graduate, what was the app called before? It was an app called Annie Live. It was a vertical streaming app, only for VTubers. So it was vertical streaming. But the only thing you could really do on there was like talk or whatever. Because it was like a vertical streaming app. But it wasn't like YouTube or. So like imagine like TikTok, but even less capabilities than TikTok. That's what Annie Live was. Like TikTok for VTubers. Almost, but like you could only watch streams. There would only be live streams. So no videos. But like just imagine TikTok live for VTubers. But it wouldn't use like any like videos or anything like that. Oh my gosh. If my voice sounds terrible, there's a reason. My voice sounds awful right now. My voice doesn't really sound. Yep, it was a app. It was only on your phone. Oh my gosh, my voice sounds terrible today because I've been talking all day. It gets me some posture. Are you sick? Oh, I'm not sick. I don't think I'm sick. At my new job, I have to talk a lot because I teach little kids now. So I started my new job on Wednesday. And I teach little kids now, but we gotta do a lot of talking with little kids, right? Because they need lots of talking. Because they're little kids, so I think my voice just has to get used to it, so it's a little bit sore today. But it's hard. It's hard work, but I like it. The kids are so cute. They're so adorable. They're so tiny. The class that I work with is 3 to 4-year-olds. So I work with toddlers. But they're actually really, really adorable. I think they're adorable, though. I think they're so cute. Very, very excitable because I played with them today. Very, very exciting. Very excitable. Very curious, too. And then I also work with elementary schoolers. Well, to be fair, I think you've had some time because technically I've been Coco for a long time now. So I think I gave you an exception because I had just graduated. But now, since it's been like a year, it's time to move on. Okay? I know you have to get used to it, but it's time for us to move on. Mm-hmm. That chapter is over, so we move on to the next one. No, don't update my phone. People work with kids. I can never. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. You know, a kindergarten teacher has. I've always said that people who work in childcare are very strong because it's so important at that age to work together with them, you know? Mm, I try my best. But yeah. But I also do work with elementary kids. So kids who have started elementary school. We also have an after school program for them. So they come after they finish. So like they know they're in elementary, so from first to sixth grade here. So they come after elementary after their school after school to you know I come after school to also study English. But yeah, I'm happy at this job. I think I'm pretty happy. Yeah, it's just like extra like homework help. So not homework help. We actually have our own. Yeah, we have our own curriculum that they do. So we have our own stuff that they do. So it's separate from like their schoolwork. So yeah, it's like extracurricular. Extracurricular activities. But it's still learning English. So. But yeah, so a lot of them, you know, they'll start at the preschool, right? So from 1 year old. So they'll start from the preschool. They'll, you know, go through preschool. So here in Japan, preschool and kindergarten are lots of times the same. They're interchangeable. So a lot of times, so the kids will go through, so it can either be called preschool or kindergarten, and then they'll go through that, and then, you know, they'll enter school, they'll enter elementary, I think, when they're like 6, right? So they'll enter elementary when they're 6. So for some of the kids, um, they've gone through the preschool kindergarten program at our place, and then after that, they move on to after school. And then we've had people also, you know, complete graduate, right, from our after school program. There was one kid the other day who graduated because he was going to middle school. So we only go up to elementary, but he graduated from elementary. So it was his last day this past spring. It was his last day because he's going to middle school. So, sorry, we don't take middle school kids. We only go up to elementary. But it's a really nice place. I really like it. Um, I really like it. Yeah. So I'm happy. I'm happy with my job. I'm happy. hmm And my coworkers are very nice. Everyone's been explaining, you know, the different things and how everything works and stuff like that. So I'm very satisfied with where I'm at right now. I think very happy. Um, I'm glad that I was able to find a place like this. Okay. Mm-hmm. But is the commute good compared to previous place? Okay, let me answer this question first and then I'll get to your question. So my commute is longer. So I have to take about like a 15-minute bus ride. So I have to take a bus. Before, I was just able to like do a 5-minute walk. Now I have to take about like a 15-minute bus. But I got a bus pass. My job paid for a bus pass. So I don't have to pay for the bus because my job paid for it. Yay. Okay, what's your question? What's your question? I hope you guys know on YouTube, um, YouTube updated, and so I can't see like your display names. YouTube only shows me your usernames now. So if I ever read your username weird, that's because YouTube changed. So I don't see like your normal names. I see like your full username, whatever it is on YouTube. Which is annoying because I like to see the names better. 3 things not to do within Japan. I don't know. There's a lot of things not to do. Don't break the law. So I don't know. Well, don't break the law. That's stupid. So don't break the law. Don't talk on your phone when you're on the train or a bus, when you're on public transportation. That's annoying. One, that's just annoying, I think, anywhere. But especially in Japan, it's like they tell you not, the train literally tells you not to do it. But like, I don't know. Back when I was in the US, people would like talk on their phones on the fucking bus all the time. And I'm just like, bruh, I don't want to hear your loud ass conversation. Unless it's interesting, then I want to hear the drama. But other than that, don't talk on your phone on the bus or a train. Stop that. Get some help. Do not tip when you go to a restaurant. Japan doesn't do tips. So don't tip when you go somewhere. They'll be like, no tip. No tip is needed. They don't do tips here. So don't tip at a restaurant. Oh wow. Public transport free for the whole month of April. Now that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, one thing I do like about Japan is a lot of jobs often give reimbursement for public transportation fees. So like bus pass, bus pass, train pass, whatever. A lot of jobs usually do reimburse you for that. Here in Japan, which is nice. Like my old job, actually, my old school, they would have offered it to me cool too, but I lived 5 minutes, so I only had to walk. So that's why. Yeah, we get transportation benefits. So my previous job, I didn't need them because I only had to walk 5 minutes. So I didn't need it back then, but now I have to take a bus. So yep, I got a bus pass. That my job covered. Yep. Yep. Oh, you telling me to stretch? Okay, I'll stretch. I'll stretch. Hmm. What advice would you give to an American traveler? Well, you say American traveler, but that's the thing. Do you want to live in Japan or do you want to visit Japan? You mentioned traveling, but do you want to live in Japan or visit Japan? Those are two different things. If you want to visit Japan, I'd say just come on and visit. You'll be fine. If you want to live in Japan, number one, double check before you come into the country. I want to live in Japan. Okay. So you need to double check about immigration. So double check how can you come to Japan? Because there are different ways that you can come. I don't know if you use Reddit or not. But Reddit has a very helpful subreddit called Move Into Japan. Has a lot of information about what type of visa you'll need and what the requirements are. So check what the requirements and what you will need to do if you want to move to Japan before you do anything else, so that you can double check, what do I need to do before I come to Japan or before I try to move? So double check visa, your status of pay. Double check, what do I need to do? Because everything has its own requirements. So you gotta double check that. It's each and every day. I guess the job never ends for a teacher, doesn't it? But yeah, you gotta check what you want to do before you want to move. But I would also ask yourself, what do you want to do in Japan? What job do you want? Because that's what most people come here for. We come here on a job visa. Like, I have a job visa. My coworkers who are from different countries, they have a job visa. So are you coming to Japan to work, to study, right? You gotta figure out what you want to do in Japan. Are you working? Are you studying? Right? You gotta figure that out. That's why you gotta check and see about what type of visa that you can get. Because, many people, they say, oh, I want to move to Japan right away. But you know what I also recommend if you want to live in Japan? Visit Japan first. Do not just come to Japan. Visit Japan first if you can. I did my study abroad in Japan before ever coming to Japan, and so that was kind of scary, I guess. Ooh, excuse me. You're gonna have to do a little bit more research into that, because I don't know if there's an artist visa. I don't know. You're gonna have to research that. I'm not sure about that. So you have to put research into that, because I don't know. I came here to work as like a teacher, so I went that route. But when it comes to art, I don't know. I don't know about art. But yeah, I do recommend visiting Japan first, like on a trip first, so you can get like a taste of like Japan. So like when I first visited, I was a student, so I came to study in Japan. My first time in Japan, I came to study for 1 year. It was really fun. Oh, oops, I forgot to hydrate. Let me drink a little bit. I forgot to hydrate. All right. So yeah. You gotta do the, they say, you gotta do the cooking by the book, or else it'll end up crazy. So you gotta do it by the book. But don't worry, if you need a place to go to r/move into Japan. I'm serious. You can find so much information there. I was in that subreddit for a little bit before I came to Japan to ask questions. But r/move in to Japan, it got everything. Redditors might be annoying as fuck sometimes, but you can find good advice there, because some people on Reddit are nice. and they have good advice. Other people on Reddit just like to go there and fucking argue, and you're just like, okay. But not everybody on Reddit likes to argue. Some people on there give good advice, so definitely recommend checking out that when you can. Not everyone is annoying on there, but some people give good advice, thankfully. Though a lot of people on Reddit are very annoying. Yeah, I like some communities on Reddit that are very helpful. It's just that some, for some odd reason, are just so annoying. It's like, it's just sometimes on Reddit, right? I don't know. I don't know how many of y'all here use Reddit. I do. I started using Reddit. I actually started using Reddit because it was back during the pandemic. It was back when Animal Crossing New Horizons came out, and I wanted to trade things with people. And I was like, where are y'all doing your trades? And so someone recommended me, oh, there's a subreddit. And I was just like, okay. So I made like a Reddit account and I did that. So it was just for Animal Crossing stuff. And then I discovered other things on there, like, oh, there's stuff about VTubers on there. And then I discovered other communities that I liked from there. But yeah, I originally downloaded Reddit because I wanted to do Animal Crossing trades. Oh yeah, we all have our reasons. I have lots of other now reasons, and some of them I am gonna keep private. But yeah, when I first downloaded Reddit, it was for the for Animal Crossing trading. And then, you know, that's when I discovered a lot of people answer questions on Reddit and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is the site where people also come for advice. But yeah, like some people on Reddit, very kind, very demure. Other people on Reddit, fucking bitches. Yeah, you can find good tech support there. But like other people, some people don't even like to help. They'll answer. Someone will post a question, right? Sorry, guys, this is turning into a rant against Reddit. But somebody will post a question, right? They'll post a question, and then some person who's a bitch ass who doesn't have anything better to do will just be a complete asshole. They'll give you no solution. They'll just call you dumb and be like, why are you asking that? Anyone would know the answer to that. Why don't you do your research or whatever? And it's like, motherfucker, if you don't have anything to contribute here, why are you responding? Leave it alone. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. But yeah, some people on Reddit are like just really annoying, you know? Because like so many of them just think that like my it's like, oh, my right, like my opinion is the right opinion and everybody else is wrong. And I'm like, no, I mean, we all have different opinions and solutions, so that's okay. But yeah, some people are just annoying. Yeah, I take breaks sometimes from Reddit, or I'll not look at certain stuff because I don't want to look at it. But there are other communities that are nice on there that I like to go to, so excuse me. I guess if you go there for the memes are it's pretty quiet. Mm. Screw all social media. Yeah, every social. I mean, it's interesting now because I personally think that all social media is terrible, but they're all terrible in their own unique way. Like, you won't quite get the same terribleness from one place to another. They're all unique. So you just have to tell yourself, well, which is the one that I can tolerate the best? Like, can I tolerate this? Can I tolerate that? You know? And then you go from there. Yeah, all social media is terrible, guys. I say as I'm on social media. You just gotta find the ones that you can tolerate and then go from there. But honestly, all social media is terrible. Oh gosh. I hope it's just my throat and that I'm not getting sick. I can't get sick. I just started work. So, the one thing about this job as well is that I can't use. Sorry, my ear is really itchy and I need to. The inside of my ear is really itchy right now. I need to itch it. 1 second. Ah. It's always so weird when the inside of your ear is itchy. Okay. Well, Snapchat. I mean, I guess Snapchat's technically social media, but like, all you see on Snapchat is like the people you add, though, right? I stopped using Snapchat though. Like I don't really I didn't really use it. I would just use it for with friends, but like it just got really boring. And I was just like, this is boring. It got boring, so I've never used that app and will never. I used Snapchat when I was in high school and then in college, but like I honestly stopped using it when I got to college. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Hi, welcome in. Yeah, it still counts as social media. But just like for me, I don't really care much. Hello, welcome in. Yeah, I mean, I guess I use too much bad. Because which do I use? I use Twitter, of course, because all VTubers are on Twitter. Not only VTubers, but a lot of Japanese artists, Japanese idols, Japanese singers, are on Twitter. So that's why I still use Twitter, even though it's shit now. And then I also use Reddit. So Twitter, Reddit, and I use TikTok, but I don't post on TikTok. I just watch videos on TikTok. Yeah, but I don't post videos on TikTok. I tried posting like VTuber stuff on TikTok, but it's so ill now actually, so I don't do that anymore. So I just watch funny videos. But honestly, I mostly just follow like cats. Because people have like a lot of cat pages, so I like to watch cat videos. And then, of course, YouTube. But again, YouTube, it's just watching videos and streams. And then that's it. I used to use Tumblr all the time. I used to use Tumblr, but when I started using Twitter, I used Tumblr less. It's such a shame that they banned porn from Tumblr, though. RIP. Especially because you can find the best stuff there now. But it's such a shame they decided to ban porn. I was like, girl, no. What do you mean? RIP, I still remember the day. And like everyone was surprised. Like even people I thought that wouldn't use Tumblr, even they were just like, oh no, the porn's gone. I was like, damn, how many people watched it for porn? Never used it personally, but censorships. Yeah. That's a shame. Hmm. Oh yeah, Twitter has it. Reddit has it. Remember when OnlyFans wanted to stop being an adult platform? That was so fucking funny because they announced that and then within the same damn day they changed their mind. But I'm gonna be honest, who thought that? You know why I think they wanted to do that? I think that they wanted to go public. I think they wanted to be like a public company. And so they were like, well, if we want to go public, we have to get rid of we have to get rid of the adult content. And but then people were like, bro, that's literally like 95% of your sales. How are you gonna go public if you ain't making money? And so they were like, oh damn, we can't go public anyway, even if we aren't making any money. So and so they were just like, okay, never mind. But literally, I was just like, who decided that? Because mhm. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know who could decide that. But yeah, crazy. That was pretty funny though, I gotta admit. That was very funny to see. Um, but yeah. Okay, so is that all? Oh my gosh, it was censored in Australia. Oh yeah, Australia's getting hit, isn't it? Yeah, Australia, you guys implemented the social media ban for under 16. I saw that. I was just like, man. I was like, that's crazy. I can't imagine doing that. Mm, yeah, I mean, that's what's going to happen, right? These websites either comply or they just block access. And I think a lot of websites are just going to block access, especially if it's only one country. But I really hope the US doesn't do the same because I'm in Japan right now, yes, but I use a lot of US based websites. So, um, I just. So, in theory, a social media ban for under 16 does make sense. The problem comes in. I understand that you want, your kids to be safe on the internet. The problem is that everybody wants your ID now. I don't like to give out my ID unless it's like for business purposes, right? So like for example, I had to give my ID, for example. I had to like show my ID, for business stuff. So like for my PayPal account to make a business account, stuff like that, I have to show my ID, which makes sense because that's business, right? I have to verify that I'm a person. But when it comes to age verification, a lot of these places want your data. And so many of them are not transparent about where that data goes. Like, is it going to be deleted or is it going to be stored somewhere? And then my information's just out there and it could be in danger, right? And I know parents have to parent, and I understand parents are busy and there's a lot of things that your kids can get into, but you also have to start paying attention to the internet more. I know a lot of people, especially older people, they'll be like, well, I can't learn the internet or whatever. And I'm like, look, if you're going to have children, you're going to have to, because your children are going to be using the internet. So you have to learn and establish from a young age about their internet usage, right? And about what websites. And, there's parental filters. A lot of parents don't know this, but there's parental filters that you can do, that you can install on the internet. You know, there's parental figures for the internet, just like how you have parental filters for TV. Like, I'm sure you guys, for those of you who don't know, back when everyone used to watch TV, there were parent filters on television. So because there would be some channels that would show, rated R movies, or there were some channels that would show like the pay-per-view porn. I know you used to be able to watch porn on television. You still can actually. But you could like get adult movies and stuff. There were adult channels. So what did you do? You put the parental filter on, right? So you're gonna have to do the same thing with your kids now. And a lot of things have made it easier, right? Tablets, stuff like that. Yeah, it's built in prices. You guys have to use parental controls. You cannot just give your kid a tablet and let them run wild. You gotta parent. You also have to put limits. Put limits on how much, right? You have to put limits on how much your child uses them, right? Because if you don't want your child to get like addicted to the internet, right? You can put limits, right? So maybe like, I don't know, 2 hours a day, maybe, right? 2 hours a day or something, right? Screen time, exactly. You have to parent. So by the time they get to be a teenager, right? They'll have a healthier relationship with social media, and you probably won't have to worry about them being online all the time. But then you can also, it's a matter of trust too, right? As they get older, you can give them access to to different websites, right? Like, one thing that my parents did is that they did not let me make a Facebook until I was 13. So before 13, I could not have a Facebook. I think that was also Facebook rules anyway, is that you have to be 13 and older to use Facebook anyway. And my parents followed that rule very strictly. They're like, you're not getting a Facebook until you're 13. So I think that parents also have to, look at that too when it comes to social media, Tell your child you have to be this old, right, to get social media, especially now, because when I was young, there was websites for kids to play games and stuff on, right? So I wasn't even interested in social media because I had all of these games that I could play, right? I made a Facebook so that I could see my friends, pictures, but I really wasn't using it because I was like, I have all these games and I could go on YouTube. Because, I don't think I was watching good stuff on YouTube. Well, no. What was I watching on YouTube? No, I was watching anime on YouTube, to be fair. I was watching anime back then on YouTube. Gmail. I had Flash games to play and viruses to download it. Well, you were a little kid when MySpace came out. I did not use MySpace. I'm not that old. So MySpace was out, but I wasn't using MySpace, no. MySpace was around when I was a kid, but I was way too young to be on MySpace, so I did not use MySpace. But yeah, I was playing mostly like games. And then when I got older, I liked to watch, YouTube. But you know what I used YouTube for? I used it for anime. I watched anime on YouTube. Or I would watch AMVs, like anime music videos that people would make, like those anime slideshows. So, that's what I would watch on YouTube, you know? You could watch anime on YouTube. Yeah, back then, we didn't have, like, there wasn't anime on like Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll was around back then, but back then Crunchyroll was actually a pirated website. Um, but yeah, back then Crunchyroll was like a pirated website still. But yeah, you could watch anime on YouTube. People would upload like anime and they would upload it into different parts, right? So they'd have like part 1, part 2, part 3 because there would be a limit to how long of a video you could upload. But yeah, you could have watched a lot of people watched anime on YouTube cuz we didn't have anime on Netflix. We didn't have Netflix. Anime wasn't on Netflix. It wasn't quite like super duper popular. So, I mean, it was on its own websites, but it was also on YouTube. Yeah. But yeah, now it's on Netflix, and now you have Crunchyroll, and you have Amazon Prime, and Hulu, and other sites. But back then, there wasn't no anime on there. Nope. You had to watch it on. I could only watch it online on like a random website, or I watched it on YouTube. Was where I watched the anime. But yeah, I wasn't obsessed with like. But that's the thing, I had there's officially licensed anime and whites or YouTube. Well, yes, now it's officially licensed. I know that now, but back then it wasn't. So back then it wasn't. Um but yeah, you have to be careful about your kids. I honestly think it's social media. Yeah. Social media is what you gotta be careful because it's just crazy because I'm like, why am I seeing 10-year-olds on Instagram? I'm seeing 10-year-olds on Instagram. I'm seeing 10-year-olds on Twitter. I'm like, you should not be on this website. No kid should have, I'm serious, no elementary schooler should have social media. At least wait until they are in middle school. Middle school, at least. I would wait till 13 personally, middle school at least. No elementary schooler should have social media. There's no excuse. There's no reason. Why do they need it? Since sevens. I mean, I don't mind. I don't think I mind the 6-7 thing. I don't mind it that much, but it's just I'm just afraid about. Also, I'm afraid about children posting themselves online too, If they're just watching, it's not as bad. But it's when they post themselves online that you worry about their safety too, Because obviously there's creeps online. So I worry about their safety if they post themselves online. Mm. What time is it now? Oh my gosh, it's been like an hour. Okay. I actually think I'm gonna end the Zatsudan here for today because I'm a little bit tired. I really wanted to stream though. I wanted to say hi basically to you guys. And I wanted to talk today because last week we did ASMR, but it just turned into me chatting so much. So, I wanted to chat today so that tomorrow, Saturday, we'll do proper ASMR tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Okay, so everyone, a chat and streams. Yeah, so we could do more in the future. But I had a lot to talk about today, so I'm glad that I got to talk with you guys. So we'll be streaming. Question? You have a question right at the end. Okay, last question for today then. Last question. I'll take one more question for today. What does astrology stand for? Oh, what does ASMR stand for? That's a good question. It stands for something something response. I forgot. Yeah, let's ask Google. Alright, ASMR stands for Autonomous sensory meridian response. Yes. So it stands for autonomous sensory meridian response. So basically, the little tingles that you feel in your ears when you listen to ASMR, that's what it stands for. That's what it's for, right? To get you to feel tingly, like, whoa, that sounds nice. That's what ASMR stands for. Okay. I'm going to head to bed now, actually, because I'm tired. And I actually have errands to run tomorrow. And I want to clean up because, yeah, I want to clean up. Hey, if you want to read more about it, there's Wikipedia, so you can go Google it later. Yeah, I got errands to run tomorrow, and yeah. Oh my gosh, go to sleep. Yeah, it's like 3 a.m. in Lancaster. Like, go to sleep. All right, everybody. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or night, depending on where you are. And I'll see you tomorrow for ASMR, okay? So stay safe, stay classy, and as always, I shall see you in your dreams. Bye-bye.